Every winter, around 60,000 water birds would come to Deep Bay in Hong Kong for wintering. In 1995, the Maipo and Inner Bay wetlands were recognized as a wetland of international importance under the Ramsar Convention. The Maipo Nature Reserve is a crucial stopover migration site for water birds. Since 1983, it has been managed by World Wildlife Fund Hong Kong. Visitors can have a full taste of nature and observe migratory birds here.
Maipo Nature Reserve is designated as a restricted area that is not open to the general public. Only participants in activities hosted by the Nature Reserve may enter under staff guidance. To get there, you may take a bus or minibus from Shengshui or Yunlong, alight at Tam Kon Chau Road, and walk for about 20 minutes to reach the Maipo Peter Scott Visitor Center. You may also get there by taxi if you prefer. If you are driving, please be reminded to make an online booking for parking at the visitor center. What comes to mind when you think of the Maipo Nature Reserve?
Birds, of course. It's a famous wintering habitat for migratory birds. Around 60,000 birds come here every year.
Oh, but today we aren't just here solely for bird watching. We're here to learn how to be wetland rangers.
Wetland rangers? What are their duties at the nature reserve?
Hey, Carmen is there. Let's ask her.
Great.
Hello, Carmen.
Hello, Carmen.
Hello.
What habitats are there in the Maipo Nature Reserve?
There are various types of habitats in the Maipo Nature Reserve, such as mangrove, gaiwai, freshwater ponds, reed beds, and mudflats.
Melody said we may experience working as wetland rangers. Can you explain what the duties of a ranger involve?
Wetland rangers have two main duties. One of the main duties is habitat management. This is to ensure that these habitats are suitable for wildlife. Secondly, we're responsible for research and monitoring work. Let's go in and have a taste of the first duty. That will test your eyesight and concentration.
Sure.
Okay, come with me.
Yeah. Maipo and Inner Deep Bay Wetlands has been recognized as a wetland of international importance. It's Hong Kong's only wetland nature reserve, and it has tremendous ecological value. Apart from being Hong Kong's haven for birds, it's also home to many other animals. I know it must be difficult to manage this wetland. It makes me wonder what ranger duties would Carmen let us experience today?
Carmen mentioned that rangers are responsible for research and monitoring work. Should we observe Maipo's migratory birds first?
That's right. But hold on. The most important thing now is to count the number of migratory birds here. But first, we must learn how to count them.
Which month will we see the most migratory birds?
Every year in the winter, many migratory birds come here for wintering, which is from around November to February.
So you'd count the number of birds here on a regular basis? What's the use of it, and how often do you do so?
We want to learn the changes in numbers of birds in the natural reserve, how the numbers trend in each gaiwai, and the diversity of different species, so as to better understand the migratory trends and environmental changes. Here, I prepared some equipment for you both. This is a pair of binoculars.
Wow, I'm an expert now.
Binoculars made you an expert?
Oh yeah, I have also brought you some counters for counting birds. There.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll hold binoculars in one hand and count with the other?
That's right, that's
Got
right.
you. Despite the equipment, counting birds is still a challenge for people who are bad at mathematics. As the ducks swam around, I often lost track.
Did you see the black-faced spoonbill just now?
Yes, it has such a round mouth.
Oh, there it is, there it is.
Black-faced spoonbills are endangered birds, with only around 6,000 of them left in the world. Every year, 300 to 400 of them would appear at Maipo and surrounding areas.
So all of us have finished counting the birds. Let's compare our figures. And I have counted 70 birds in total.
What?
Hang on. Where are these birds?
Yes, well, that's the total number of ducks swimming over there. And how many have you counted?
I'm embarrassed to say.
Oh, you're too embarrassed.
You tell me first.
Wait, tell me what's your counting method.
You first. How many did you count?
Can I count again?
Tell us.
I counted around 150 of them.
Okay. It might be because we're counting differently.
I felt quite confident. I thought I was accurate. As I finished counting 10 of them, I'd copy and paste the counted pile elsewhere and see how many similar piles there are. I counted 10 to 20 piles and went with the median.
I have 240. I'm just poor in math. I'll try again next time, okay?
Sure, no worries. It takes a lot of practice to master the skill, and that's how you get accurate.
What should visitors be mindful of when bird watching? We have you as our guide, but how should they act during their visit?
Their clothing should blend into the nature because we don't want to disturb the birds. Also, always be quiet and refrain from speaking loudly, as it is a habitat for different species of wildlife.
Understood. It feels quite special because I'm not particularly into bird watching, but having this opportunity and looking at them through the binoculars, I realized that the birds were quite big, and Carmen pointed out the different species. Then I understand why people love bird watching.
It's counting the birds. I've always enjoyed exploring new and different ways of doing things, and it makes me realize the fun in bird watching.
The gaywai that we counted birds at is one of the most important habitats in Maipo. It used to be the fishermen's traditional technique to raise and harvest fish and shrimps. Gaywai is a pond that connects with the ocean. The water level is determined by the change in the tide. When the water level is right, water birds love to forage in these gaywais. The operation of a traditional gaywai does not pose serious damage to the ecosystem, which is a good example of sustainable management of wetlands.
As of now, the Maipo Nature Reserve has 17 brackish water gaywais, which are also the only operating gaywais in Hong Kong. We've been making improvements to the gaywais through proactive management to make them even more suitable for wildlife to live in. In the summer, we also organize various activities to harvest gaywai shrimps to demonstrate to the public the operation of a gaywai and its cultural heritage.
Can you please explain to us how a sluice works?
The water level in a sluice is controlled by lowering or raising the sluice gate.
Why do we adjust the water level?
Different water levels offer a range of habitats for different animals. For instance, if the water level is too high, the birds might not be able to stay at the gaywai.
Let's put on our equipment and meet up with our tutor Y to learn how to operate the sluice.
Okay.
All right,
Can I just hold it like this?
try it out.
Don't do it. It might drop on your feet.
It's fine, I'll hold on to it.
I got it.
It seems a bit heavy.
We shouldn't hold it like this.
This one is not soaked, so it's lighter.
The sluice gate is for controlling the water level, but when does
Yeah.
it need to be done?
We release water on every 1st and 15th day of the lunar month so that we can let more animals in and allow water to flow out.
People tend to go vegetarian on those days.
Yeah.
Why you do it then?
Because that's when we have high tides.
Oh.
So it allows an exchange of water.
Y is so skillful. He has picked up 3 sluice gates so quickly. Let's give it a try too. Rock, paper, what do you
Winner.
want first?
1, 2, 3.
No, I want to go first anyway.
Let her try first.
You're
You go
right, that's
first.
fine. There's not enough space.
You're already having a hard time going down.
I think my feet are a bit too big.
I saw Wise smirking.
Because you guys are funny.
Will the fork fall in the water?
Not if you're holding it tight.
Take a horse stance.
Now place your other foot over there.
Take a firm horse stance.
Yeah, stay firm.
Ah!
Pull mountains apart with your mighty will. Are you going to hurt yourself?
I was afraid that it would be swept away.
That often happens to beginners.
Why is that?
The sluice gate would be swept away. Go on.
Does she need to be quicker?
Right.
I see.
This is harder to move because there's more water
Okay,
pressure.
I got this. You're about to witness a miracle.
Yeah.
Whoa, the fork was almost swept out. The water current can really sweep it away.
Wow.
Good and steady.
Y's ready to save you anytime.
It could be any time now, why? This definitely isn't easy. Thank you. I watched Melody and I learned a few things.
I showed you what not
It's
to do.
tiring.
The lower it is, the harder
Yeah.
it gets.
Are there any more?
There are.
Want to go again?
This one is really hard.
Can't. No, I need to save some water for the shrimps.
What do you think about pulling up sluice gates?
Everything just happened too fast. As I pulled it up, I held it there for like half a second, and Y was already there to help.
You did pretty well for your first time.
Some tasks may seem easy at first glance. When White demonstrated what has to be done, he picked it up, grabbed with the other hand, he put down the fork and the sluice gate, and boom! Anything interesting happen when you were doing this?
Once, the sluice gate and the fork got swept out, and I lost my tools.
The fork too?
Yeah.
So you went in to get them?
No, I just got another fork.
Oh, would you consider putting a buoy on the fork?
No, that would get in the way.
You think he often loses them? Only just the once.
Sometimes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it still happens sometimes.
At times.
Oh.
An applause for ourselves.
Yes, more for me.
Maipo hosts tens of thousands of birds every year. Apart from the water birds foraging in the water, many other birds love to rest on the embankment. If the plants in the nature reserve are too tall, the birds will not be able to use the spot. Therefore, Maipo's rangers are responsible for managing the height of the grass to provide the birds with a comfy environment.
I heard that a team of colleagues here is designated to manage the height of the grass bed.
I guess the rangers are quite strong then.
That's right, they are all very strong. Yorkie is responsible for looking after the buffaloes.
Hi, hello,
Hello,
Yorkie.
Yorkie. First, I'd like to know, how does the grass affect the nature reserve?
If the grass is too high or too dense, the birds might lose interest in habituating on the ground. Therefore, in different parts of the nature reserve, many of our colleagues are sent to clean up and manage the grass regularly.
Since when were the water buffaloes introduced to the nature reserve to help manage the wetland reserve?
In the beginning, there weren't any water buffaloes here, but in 2006, we brought them in on a trial program. The water buffaloes were introduced in phases to help us create a naturally organic environment in the wetland.
What are the perks of having the buffaloes here?
Well, first of all, water buffaloes eat grass, so they continuously help us to clear all the grass that has become too tall. Also, as they walk around, they keep the grass short. Other than that, some of their natural behaviors, such as doing barrel rolls in the mud, will help to form mud puddles and water puddles that can store a lot of water. One of my duties is simply to observe them every day, assess their health conditions, and see if they have any kind of injuries. That's why I was hoping to ask both of you to help me with observing and assessing them.
Oh.
You can use your binoculars to see if there are any wounds on their bodies or their skin. Start by looking at their head first, then look at their neck, the chest, down to the pelvis and forelegs.
Apart from bleeding wounds, are there any other symptoms of injury, like their bodies being hovered over by insects?
If the buffaloes have insects on them but no wound, then we won't pay particular attention to it.
Understood. Okay, let's look for the wounds. Oh, I don't see any.
There aren't any on its back.
They look good to me.
Good.
Yeah.
If there are no prominent wounds, you may check the condition of their muscles and sebum. We have a scoring system here.
Right.
1 point if it's too thin, 5 points for being obese. If its ribs are protruding, then that's 1 point for sure. If its pelvis looks flabby and the bone shape looks completely untraceable, then it's obese and should be given 5 points.
I would give that one a 2.5.
Okay.
Melody, what do you think?
I would say maybe a 3?
You think it's kind of fat?
Yeah.
You comparing it to
It
yourself?
just seems bigger.
That's not fair, you know?
Are the younger ones any bigger than the older ones, I wonder?
Oh, right. Is their weight age-related at all?
Age does matter, but obesity is mainly attributed to their particular eating habits, and body size is mainly attributed to age, like the younger ones are a little smaller.
Do the birds give us any kind of indication to the buffalo's health condition?
Oh, observing the birds doesn't help. We mainly observe the buffaloes directly. Yeah.
More birds don't equal healthier buffaloes.
Right, it's not a must. Buffaloes are able to initiate interactions that humans cannot. You may notice that the buffaloes are surrounded by birds because they're eating the insects surrounding the buffaloes.
Oh.
If we go in and mow the grass, all the birds will be scared off, and such amazing natural interactions wouldn't happen. If we're done checking, go ahead and look at Bo in the middle.
Okay, the name Bo sounds quite nostalgic to me.
Why is that?
It's from a movie. Why does Bo wear a collar?
Oh, the collar is actually connected to a satellite transmitter. We started a new project recently, hoping to understand and gather more information about them. We want to know more about their movements and how wide their area of movement is. We have to ensure there's an adequate number of buffaloes in different places here, so we make sure they have enough food and living space.
Today, we got to experience how to monitor and record the health conditions of buffaloes, but it's only possible under staff guidance. General visitors at Maipo should remember not to casually approach the buffalo staff. We can't fully rely on the buffaloes to maintain all the grass in the nature reserve, so the rangers also mow the grass with lawnmowers. Only by doing both can we maintain a migratory bird-friendly environment.
Apart from migratory birds, I heard that otters are also a focal point of research at the nature reserve. Hong Kong is one of the habitats of Eurasian otters, but they are rare in number. We must conserve these native species with our every effort. I wonder whether we will have a chance to see them today.
Just over here in this little corner, you can see some Eurasian otter droppings.
Huh? This is otter poop?
Yes, Eurasian otters are actually nocturnal animals, so they are rarely seen by people, and we may not be able to see them at all today. But we know they're here as we can get an idea of their whereabouts using this.
What is this?
Right, well, what I've got here in my hand is something we collected a bit earlier. Describe what it smells like.
Should I shake it?
You can if you
I'm
want.
so nervous.
You have to know its age and origin, all the basics. Okay, let me try. Don't tell me.
You're gonna want to inhale really deeply. Come on, sniff it.
Smell anything?
I do.
Breathe deep.
It smells familiar, right? I recognize that. Hey, let me smell it again.
It smells like
Seafood, right?
What kind of seafood does
Hairy
it smell
crab?
like?
Their main diet is mostly fish.
Smells like fish
Right.
scales.
It smells a bit like fish and also a little bit grassy as well. With the collected feces, we are able to carry out DNA analysis. And that analysis will help us to identify which otter that feces belongs to. And that helps us to figure out the number of otters here and places where they show up.
So, usually whereabouts do you find otter feces then?
Oh, somewhere near the water, for instance, or on some protruding objects. That's typically where you'll find it.
Apart from the feces, are there other ways for rangers to monitor the otters?
We've also placed devices around, such as the infrared cameras that capture the otters' images automatically as they pass by. How about we take the kayaks to collect the memory cards of these cameras so we can have a
Okay,
look?
sounds good.
I'm so nervous. I can cheer now. Woo! Stop. Okay,
The lock is on the right-hand side.
I'm afraid that I will tear the whole thing down.
Don't worry.
Throw a bit more forward,
Okay.
please.
Is that a bit better for you?
Yeah, okay.
Boo!
Don't do that, it freaks me out.
I'll stop. We can't lose the memory card. Marvelous.
Dun, 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 dun. Got it. Woo!
Do you have any pouches or a pocket?
We had just retrieved the data from an infrared camera, one of 60 that had been installed throughout the Maipo Nature Reserve and the surrounding fish ponds. Let's see what kinds of animals the camera captured.
There it is. Is that one there?
Did you see that fast-moving creature that ran away so quickly?
Oh, here. I see one
It
here.
has a cobra-like tail.
How awesome.
This should be a small Indian civet.
Civet?
Civet.
Not a cat.
No, it's a civet.
A civet.
Indian civet, a gorgeous name.
Whoa, what's
Whoa.
that?
Might be an insect flying by.
It can even capture an insect?
Yeah, it can.
So it'll take a lot of pictures every night?
Right, so we often need to ask for help from our colleagues to look
of
through
course.
it.
Whoa! This one. Is this the little guy we've been looking for so long?
It's so cute. It looked at the camera.
Yes, this is the Eurasian otter.
Whoa! It has a long body.
And a really thick tail. Will we see a lot of them?
Eurasian otters are known for being solitary. The only times we spot more than one of them together is when a mama is raising her infants.
It looked at me.
Yeah, it looked at you. Really? It know you're looking at it, so it looked at you. How many otters are there in Maipo, approximately?
According to earlier research by the University of Hong Kong, in the whole of Hong Kong there are only 7 of them. Yes, there
Only
are very
7?
few of them around, and in Maipo there are 4 of them.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So we were really fortunate.
Yeah, we were.
Our last stop is the Visitor Center, a place where visitors come before setting foot in Maipo. Maipo Nature Reserve is a restricted area, so remember to register before you enter.
Welcome to the first spot visitors arrive at when visiting Maipo Nature Reserve. This is Alex.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Alex.
Welcome to the newly established MyPo Peter Scott Visitor Center, funded by the World Wildlife Fund Hong Kong.
Visitor center, so it should be filled with information.
Well, actually, the majority of the visitors that come here are wetland experts, as well as different schooling organizations and members of the public.
It's quite spacious. What type of facilities are here?
There are many different classrooms for us to provide training. Then upstairs, we have 9 guest rooms for residential purposes to make our trainings in the wetland more diverse. This visitor center is also the starting point for the general public to begin learning more about wetlands.
I feel like I never even had a chance to dream about being a wetland ranger. And to do the job well, you have to keep your distance from the animals, but they seem close too.
My knowledge of MyPo was never that deep. I didn't even know how to get here. I realized today that their duties are very diverse and their roles are varied, such as controlling sluice gates to observing water buffaloes. I also really want to thank Carmen for her introduction today. She really got me interested in bird watching.
This wetland in MyPo is of utmost importance because Hong Kong lies at the heart of the East Asian Australasian flyway. Each year, the migratory birds and their Siberian breeding grounds embark on a migration journey, and Hong Kong is one of their stopover sites. That's why we must conserve this wetland so they can migrate to the wintering grounds safely.
Indeed, climate change, human activities, and environmental pollution are shrinking the wetland and the variety of migratory bird species here. However, conservation is not just for the sake of migratory birds, but for the sake of our blue carbon habitat, which helps us to absorb and store carbon in the atmosphere. This can help us in our efforts to relieve climate change.
So actually protecting the wetlands can benefit us human beings as well.
Indeed, but protecting our wetlands is not an easy task as we have to put constant effort into maintaining a biodiverse ecosystem. That's why we should be grateful for our wetland rangers.
Yes, our experience as wetland rangers today was really special. Although general visitors don't get to experience what we just did, they can still come to MyPo to observe different migratory birds and creatures and be immersed in nature, which would still make a great day out.
MyPo Nature Reserve has a lot of activities in store for general visitors, including a sightseeing tour in the nature reserve led by professional guides, bird observing, a summer special midnight adventure, and even a residential experience. These are suitable for visitors of all ages to explore Hong Kong's ecology to the fullest.
Apart from the MyPo Nature Reserve, Hong Kong Wetland Park at Tin Shui Wai is also an ecological attraction worthy of a visit. It has an artificial wetland, a habitat recreated especially for water birds, and different facilities for visitors to explore. If you want to dive deeper into Hong Kong's wetland ecosystem, pay a visit to Hong Kong Wetland Park too.